Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Lots of things are going on. I'm going to try to make this a very, very fast and quick podcast. If you ever want to find me, you can always find all of my social medias right here, and then you'll find my radio stations here. I'm only posting once a week on the radio, and I'm posting on YouTube, and then eventually Rumble comes out the very next day. So I'm just going to get started with some swamp news. So we have Anna Paulina Luna. She said that she successfully censured the disgraced Adam Schiff for lying to Congress. Now, if I jump down here, so he does not surprise me that he's being accused of mortgage fraud and more lies. He has now been hit with a criminal referral, and if found guilty, should be punished to the full extent of the law. Americans should expect better from their elected leaders, blah, blah, blah. This is good news. And then you had Adam Schiff put out a video talking about, so this is a 4-minute and 54-second video. 4 minutes of it is him weighing. The other 50 seconds of it is what he would like to see happen to Trump. And then the other 4 seconds is just dead air. I think that's what it is. It's just blah, blah, blah. So anyway, he has mentioned in his post that Trump has accused me for treason. He even mentions it in here. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to ruin your day, but I just want you to know that they are kind of freaking out right now. Bibi Netanyahu, he's on trial for bribery right now, fraud, and breach of trust in 3 corruption cases. Case 1000 involves accepting over $200,000 in gifts or for favors. Case 2000 and 4000 allege trading regulatory benefits for positive media coverage. He denies all charges. The trial is ongoing as of July 2025. We know President Trump definitely knows how to make moves by having he could have a presser. He could have a he could have a press briefing. He could be anywhere. He could post a truth post or a Twitter post, right? He went on to talk about Epstein, and he's really just like, I don't understand the fascination of everybody doing this. I'm going to get into this in just what he posted about this, but he did say something in here, and all the liberals and even the weak and fake MAGAs, they were going crazy. Check this out.
I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
I'll just stop right there. And so the weak MAGA, fake MAGAs, the panicans, and definitely the TDSers, they are having a field. That's all they do. They're just festering on this, right? Well, he mentioned something in that clip I just shared with you. It says, the credible information has already been given. Guys, that's the stuff that you have, that Q's been posting, right? And you've already put it out there. So that's why he's trying to get us to focus on something else. I'm gonna tie this in a little bow in a moment here about why I think Trump is doing this. But he's like total troll master. But going to the boring. The Boring Company is an Elon Musk company. And guess what they do? They make tunnels. So is President Trump saying, go down another rabbit hole, get out of this tunnel, or we had to clean out tunnels. And that's how I saw this. He says it's kind of boring. He's trying to get our vibe level in a different spot. And the reason why is when he's got something fantastic and great on its way, it's kind of like, let's say, I was just talking to a girlfriend about this. It's kind of like going to a wedding, but maybe your favorite pet had died earlier that morning. Do you bring that up at the wedding and let's say you are a family member of the bride? All right. Do you bring it up at the wedding or do you wait until the next day? Because you want to share the joy and the excitement. Now, not to sound heartless, but again, trying to use an analogy, maybe not the best one, but President Trump needs us to stay focused on something that's really positive, and he needs our vibration level high. But is he referring to the Boring Company about the tunnels, about did our tunnels being flushed out? They were getting flushed out. But he's already made it that the credible information has already been given. So this is how I look at it. President Trump sent a very strong message to the panicans. I will call them, I'll just label it all panicans. Radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier and the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from heck, and the Dems swore had come from Russia. Again, Russia, Russia, Russia. Let me just jump down here. Their new scam is what we will forever. They are so good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue, which is really true. Their new scam is that we will forever call the Epstein hoax and Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and his past supporters, have bought into this malarkey hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country, and all these people want to do is talk about, with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems, is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. A super strong message. Bottom line is, in how I read this, is he does not want weaklings. When he says, "Hi, real MAGA, I see you. Thank you, real MAGA," we know he's talking to those. And when I looked earlier, I was really surprised by some of the big names. Some I didn't think were the fake MAGAs, and they were just ripping into President Trump. And I'm like, well, what's your point? I don't get it. So he is basically saying, it's you, the real MAGA, that I need and want. He doesn't want the support from the phony people, from the panicans, from the part-time MAGA people. He wants the support from people that are going to stand firm, have a line, draw a line in the sand and say, there's my boundary. I'm going to stick with it. You may not always agree with President Trump, but boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, what person on earth took a bullet for us, left a billionaire lifestyle to go ahead and fight for us and not earn one dime? Think about that. Yeah, so he's sending a strong message. Just stay on track, stay on point, because he's got so many great things on its way. That's how I read this. You decide. And not that I'm being heartless. You all know that we have fought hard to reveal all the information as much as we can in order to help save the children. We know that President Trump has had many rallies at the end of his campaign last year where he had brought his grandchildren on stage. He has had Elon Musk's little ex come to the Oval Office. He's had Kids Day in the briefing in the briefing room at the White House, right? Revealing that, and to me, in my humble opinion, you decide that the children are safe. So for me, I can care less about the Epstein file because it has really nothing, nada, zippo to do with our future, right? We know the clowns. We've already talked about the clowns being behind it, a government contractor behind it, right? Soon that's going to start coming out. But again, if you think about it, it has nothing to do with our future. We did our fight already. We've done what we were supposed to do. But if we focused on the more positive things that helps advance our future and our purpose, which the crypto, the tariff, the business news, that the positive business news, that has a lot to do with our future. And I went ahead and just posted this of Sammy and President Trump and in front of a bunch of like XRP tokens, because we know that those that are invested in XRP or foreign currencies or other types of alternative assets, we know that we're doing it because y'all want to help humanity in some form, right? You say, I was only able to buy 3 XRPs. That's 3 more than the neighbor you have across the street, right? But you all have the right kind of mindset. You got involved in silver and gold, right? Now it's XRP, the new wave. It's the evolution of how things are getting done. So please understand that this is not a heartless post. This was a post because I just don't want us to focus on that when we have the beautiful wedding that we can look forward to. So what happened today? There were 3 acts three bills that got that we wanted to get passed because this is crypto week. So the Clarity and the Genius, two separate bills, two separate acts that got passed, and then the Anti-CBDC got passed. So it's the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the Anti-CBDC got passed, and it now that opens up the floodgates. And then what happened after that? It opens up the floodgates of how we're going to do business. Somebody was asking me, do you really think that we're going to have currency? And again, you decide. There is a country that they are cashless. Sweden was the first cashless society. Less than 1% transactions involved cash. Norway, 98% of residents use debit or credit cards. Again, that's what we're doing, but we need to transition over to digital like Sweden has right here. Finland, second in Europe for card use and third in online banking adoption. Hong Kong, aiming to be one of the first cashless countries, but Sweden is the one that have a strong reliance on digital payment. Dubai is moving towards becoming a fully cashless city with plans to have 90% of all transactions digital by 2026. That's huge. So there was a bill that was introduced to Congress after those crypto bills got passed and the anti-CBDC that definitely stuck, that requires, not says that lenders have an option. It requires lenders to consider crypto holdings when applying for mortgages. Again, you connect the dots. President Trump wants to go all digital, right? He wants to so that he doesn't have they can monitor transactions to make sure there's not a lot of nefarious activity going on and to protect you and your assets. Again, he talked about going crypto since September of last year, but we just had a podcast on that on YouTube yesterday and Rumble today about buying a home using crypto. Yeah. Again, thinking in that direction. But this was really big about having all of now this bill introduced, but the other bills passed. That was really, really big. And it's so close to the world financial slavery to end. Because in my humble opinion, we know that gold destroys the Fed, but does crypto destroy the Fed? Is that the way that because the Fed is reliant on interest payments and interest, right? They need that. The interest money is their income. They're reliant on that. They're reliant on printing a boatload of fiat currencies and just drive up inflation, not caring at all about your own pocketbooks. And President Trump is doing the complete opposite of that. So we're getting closer to our financial freedom and not having that slavery anymore. And it also tells me that the old guard is almost out. There are also rumors that we know Jerome Powell, the process of trying to get him to leave, to go bye-bye, that was announced on Monday. But then I read late last night, early this morning, that Trump was ready to fire him, but he hasn't done so. So we're still going to need in my humble opinion, the IRS for a while, because the new laws, the OBBB bill, right? He has on the White House page, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I'll just use tips right here. So what it's saying here, on average, Americans will receive about $1,300 more from no tax on tips per year, no federal income tax withheld on tipped wages, meaning more cash in hand, tax-free incentives. Many may be more willing to take additional shifts. There are about 6 million workers who report tipped wages. And then no tax on tips is retroactive, meaning you will get your money back for your tipped wages earned in 2025. So the IRS is still needed because as you all file your tax returns for this year, and the filing starts in January, February, whenever it starts next year, that's when you can start going ahead and making your adjustments. I'm not a CPA. You can talk to a CPA about that, but you kind of get the gist, right? So that's the same with your no tax on overtime. Same thing. No tax on overtime is retroactive, meaning you'll get your money back from overtime worked in 2025. You still have to file the tax returns and make the adjustments at the end of the year. That's why I believe the IRS is still needed, because we're still going through the transition. We still have tariff money coming in on August 1st is the official date. And so we got tariff funds coming in. And then if people are going to get big fat refunds, can you imagine next year, well, by March, April of next year, they're going to get big fat refunds because they've been paying for overtime. How wonderful that will be. Yeah. And this is a beautiful post from BizNich 177. It has an old Chevy truck, and it says, "Some people are rich in ways others will never understand." You got an old Chevy truck and you got a couple sitting arm in arm next to each other, right? That's when you didn't have bucket seats. You had one big old seat, right? You could sit like that. Those were the days, right? And it was just, or you had a big station wagon. I always got way in the back of the station wagon. So I always saw the cars that were behind us. But it was just those moments, those family moments that we're going to have back. And yes, we have so much to look forward to. And yes, it sure is going to be a version of President Trump rolling out prosperity to all of us. Again, the taxes that will be saved for a family of four, they're saying $13,000. So imagine a family of four having $1,000 extra in their pocket each month. How big is that, right? Isn't that a level of prosperity? And then having other things that will start to happen as well. So, and then how those that are involved in alternative assets, that you want to do it so that you can help your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, or help in any way, because that's what's in your heart. That's really what your ultimate dream and goal is to help humanity. That's the world I look forward to. Vincent Kennedy posted a very powerful, very, very powerful video clip, and it is about Marcus Persson. He was at 32. He sold Minecraft to Microsoft for $2.5 billion, and then he bought a mansion and a bunch of toys, and disappeared into complete depression. But the money ruined his life. And why? It's because he lost his purpose. He didn't want to go to meetings. He didn't want HR issues. It was the business side of him. It crushed him. He didn't enjoy running the company, so he thought, well, why don't I go ahead and sell it? So he did. And when he did, he didn't have, it didn't give him the gratification that he had before when he was in the development stage of his business. He lost his purpose. He was building games, his community, gamers and developers, his struggle, what fueled his creativity, right? And that's really where the money isn't the path to happiness, it's the purpose. And I believe that's where many of us are. It's like, what is our purpose of what we're going to do going forward when we start to transition over? Right now, a lot of people are saying, how do you get into XRP? How do you get into XLM? There's a bunch of people talking about that. You can go ahead and do a search and you'll find somebody that will share that. I've shared it on many of my podcasts. You could also find links for that too. But they're also looking at it as it would be preserving their earnings that they have, so that they preserve their earnings, because the fiat dollar goes down, but they see XRP rising. They've seen Bitcoin rise, but it's so high right now. So but they still want to work. They still want to do something, right? So think about that. Always think about the purpose to keep your happiness going. So just do what you love to do and keep doing it, and keep looking forward, and keep writing your dreams, your goals, your visions, what you'd like to do, how you'd like to do it, how you like to roll it out. Keep that, and keep writing these wonderful waves that we're going to be riding. Yeah. And we're just going to keep riding another one and riding another one. And yeah, we're going to crash a couple of times, but we get back on the surfboard and we go again, right? That's how we roll. And just to always be thankful to God for everything, just to thank him for everything, the pillow you sleep on, the blankets you have over you, the heat or air conditioning that you have in your home. All the little things that you have are the things that you may have at one time prayed for, and he blessed you with it. But don't you see that he's got bigger blessings for you on the horizon? And just keep your faith in him. God bless you so much. Thanks so much for riding this wonderful wave with you, and just embrace these moments and these joyful moments, and dance the Sammy dance, and get those, just shine your tinfoil hat, because we got a lot more coming out. That's going to be rolling, 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 and it's only going to be beautiful. God bless you abundantly, and have yourselves a beautiful evening and day, and I will have a show very soon. Aloha.